He knows I'm a cop. I identified myself. This guy's trying to kill me, and I didn't want to die. Drop the gun, and bang, 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 and he starts running, and I start chasing him.
This is Newman Raja, a Florida cop acting like a complete dork after taking the life of an innocent man.
I just got one down. I just shot one person. All right, you got it, buddy.
But little does he know, his own victim recorded everything.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
And moments after this, the audio would capture the senseless killing of Corey Jones. Now Newman will do anything he can to twist, manipulate, and use the same laws that he was meant to uphold.
And I was like, hey! And I put that front sight right into the black silhouette and I squeezed again. I kind of got like caught with my pants down.
A little after 3 a.m. on October 18th, 2015, law enforcement in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida received a panic call from one of their own.
Right now!
911.
Hey, this is Gardens Alpha 1. I just got one down. I just shot one person. I'm at that off-ramp right behind Doubletree. Black male.
You're behind the Doubletree?
I'm on the off-ramp. 95 southbound off-ramp, off the Doubletree. I am not covered in anything right now.
Newman Raja's fellow officers raced to the scene, an I-95 off-ramp, where they discovered 31-year-old musician, city employee, and beloved family member Corey Jones deceased from 3 gunshot wounds. Raja alleged that he was working patrol in plain clothes. When he noticed a car broken down on the side of the highway, he approached it to see if anyone was inside. At that point, Corey leapt out of the car. Raja claims he identified himself, and in response, Corey pulled a gun on him. In self-defense, Raja had no choice but to fire. But as you're about to see, the story, presented by Raja himself, has about as many holes as a slice of Swiss cheese. Corey's car was broken down on the way home from a music gig. At the time of the shooting, he was on the phone with AAA, trying to schedule a tow truck to come get his car. As you know from every call that requires an agonizingly long hold, those calls are monitored and recorded. That means that the entire shooting, from beginning to end, was recorded. And that call, well, it proved that Raja wasn't just a liar, he was incompetent.
Huh? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The following footage was provided to us by Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
Officer Raja, are you aware this is a voluntary procedure and that you may decline to continue at any time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you feel as though you are emotionally prepared to provide an accurate reenactment?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the reenactment procedure before we begin?
No.
Okay.
No,
Everything
no.
good?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to provide will be the truth, the entire truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to go into as great as detail as you can, why you were here, how you came about this. But first, I just have a few preliminary questions. Sure. You currently work for the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department?
Yes, sir. I do.
How long have you worked for them?
Since April of 2015.
April of 2015?
Yes, sir.
Any previous law enforcement before that?
Yes, sir. I was a sergeant with the Atlantis Police Department, and I started in Atlantis, I think, 2007, and I came, just wanted more. Once I topped out there, I wanted more.
Okay. What are your current duty assignments here with Palm Beach Gardens?
Currently assigned to road patrol on the midnight shift, late night, 7:30 p. 19:30 to 06:30.
Okay. Was that your shift last
Voice up, I can't.
Okay, sorry.
Was that your shift that you were working last night?
Yes,
also?
last night was my Friday. We worked 4-day on, 4-day off schedule. Last night was my last day on.
Okay. What do you normally wear in your duties?
On a normal days, we were full uniform with the badge and the name tag. For the last, since September 30th or so, we've had a lot of vehicle burglaries in our area and everything, and we were getting hit with them a lot. So starting last week, we started with this. We were setting up decoy cars, and at midnight, I'm Alpha 1 cover shift. So basically I have Beat 1, which is far out west, and there's not really that much happens. So they also use me as a cover unit. At midnight, I would go set up the decoy cars and everything like that. I would dress down in street clothes, and I've been doing this for the last 4 nights. And I would either take this van, or we have a gold Crown Victoria unmarked, and I would take that and basically drive around residential neighborhoods and everything blacked out, no windows down, seeing if we see any burglaries occurring.
Okay. Did you have anything on you this evening after you dressed down? showing that you're a police officer?
Yes.
Did you have a badge or anything with you?
Inside, first of all, I always have my wallet badge with me with a police ID, which is per policy. And on top of that, inside my van, I had my tactical vest with had police in the front, police on the back, my name actually stitched onto the vest, Officer Raja, and I had my duty holster with me inside the thing.
Raja makes a big point out of highlighting that he had identification with him. He seems to be missing the fact that having that identification on you is only useful if you, well, use it. And though he claims he yelled out that he was an officer, the audio footage will prove that he did no such thing.
We were told that nightclub right down the road on PGA RC is called Lux, and across the road is downtown at the Gardens, Dirty Martini. Lux, Lux. They were having a hip-hop concert tonight, and there was supposed to be a huge crowd gathering tonight. So we decided to, if you open the back of the van up, you'll see 8 riot shields, this, that gear, the loudspeaker, crime scene tape, and sticks, And our thing was this: hey, if anything happens, if there's a big incident at Lux, if there's a big fight, we need to clear the crowd. We're going to forget about the 21 and report with the van immediately to Lux, so officers have quick access to it. And and number 2 thing that was discussed was this: while I'm in street clothes, while I'm in this, I do not do any takedowns, I do not do anything, but just in case of an emergency, something happens, that's why I have the vest and everything identifying on me. I'm supposed to call a road unit to come out to handle any situations.
Okay. Just to go back kind of quick, for other people that aren't police officers,
yes, I'm sorry.
If you would, just in the future, stop using the signal codes and stuff, because somebody may not understand it. So
Okay.
you use 94, which we know is backup, and 21, which is burglaries.
Yes.
So if you can just use plain talk
Okay, no
for
problem.
the future, just in case, because some of the non-police officers may not understand what you were talking about at that point. You satisfied with that? You want to go into the reenactment? Or?
You said you're supposed to call the backup during situations. What situations are you supposed to call backup?
Like, for example, if I'm in one of the residential neighborhoods and I see a burglary occurring or something like that, or a suspicious vehicle or suspicious person, to call a mark unit, give them my position where I'm at, and tell them, hey, this is where this person is through. And then once the mark unit comes out there, makes the initial stop, comes in contact, throw my vest on if I need to and everything like that, and then go ahead and make contact with them.
So, Newman obviously knows what he's supposed to do if he encounters any suspicious people or situations, and yet that's not at all what he did. Rather than call for backup or report to the scene that he had actively been called to, he stops and conducts his own investigation on a car that he believes is abandoned.
Okay, now what I'd like you to do is go into what happened this evening. Start as far back as you have to.
Okay.
Try to go into as much detail as you can.
Okay.
If you need to stop, stop. If you need a break, tell us, let us know. Okay, and then try to be as elaborate as you can with what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, tonight I couldn't really start this operation, if you want to call it, till midnight, because I was actually a backup officer on a domestic call in Evergreen. And second I cleared the domestic call as the backup officer, I went to the station, changed out and everything through, and got into the van, had the van prepped and everything like that. And I sent Sergeant Anderson a message, because one of the things was we were assuming that these people that were doing a lot of the burglaries are coming from Jupiter area, from the Heights. And we've checked, and we've seen a couple of these suspicious people that we've, checked out with before and everything like that, walking south on Military, walking south on Central. So I started my day I started on PGA. I went down Military, all the way down to Hood Road, went into Donald Ross Village, drove around there, and then came down Central, down PGA. And then I came back here, went to the gas station, got myself a drink and some snacks, which are still inside the van. And I started to do the communities. And as I was doing this, I was sending messages to Sergeant Anderson on the laptop. Hey, I'm going to this community. This is what I just did. This is what I just did. So he's aware of the whole. So the chain of command is going. So he's aware of my location at all times. I did the first community was the Isles. I did the Isles, and I was about to go into Evergreen, and I was just about to go there and everything. And I remember that one of the 2 units responded to a domestic disturbance at the Marriott, and the Lux Club is located on the 1st floor of the Marriott. They responded to, like, on the 5th floor or something like that, to a domestic disturbance that was pretty heated. And so, Sergeant Anderson went there too. And as Sergeant Anderson was there, I remember him calling on the radio, hey, we have a disturbance going on downstairs in Lux in the nightclub, have officers respond. So you kept on hearing that different officers. I had the radio on, like, officers, I'm on the way, I'm on the way. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this might be that call that, it just might break loose. So let me take the van, get out of where I was at, and start heading down in this direction to be close to it, just in case if something broke. I have the riot gear, everything like that we discussed about. So I turned on from military to PGA, and I was going eastbound on PGA. And as I was coming here and everything, I saw this vehicle stopped here, didn't see anybody inside, nothing. And I called out, I believe, on the radio. And I said that I thought it was a disabled vehicle on the side of the road or an abandoned vehicle. So I saw this vehicle and everything. And I was like, okay, I've got this vehicle on the side of the road. And, I'm going to check out with it, make sure everything's okay. And, when I drove past it, I could not see anything, any occupants inside the vehicle. Or if
you drove past it, which way?
Eastbound.
Okay.
Eastbound. So I went down to the next light right there. I made a U-turn, came in here. And as I was coming, I was like, it's like, all right, it's just an abandoned vehicle. This is the on-ramp. I'm just going to pull in front of it like this and park in front and put my flashes on, dispatch the tag to see if I can see the owner. Maybe they walk to the gas station or have it towed, do what we need to do. But, it's like, and this is where I'm kind of like kicking my, it's like, it's like thinking about hindsight. It's like our, golden rule. It's like, always act like a vehicle's always occupied. Never take that chance of, like, this vehicle not being unoccupied. If I knew the vehicle was occupied, I would never put myself in a fatal funnel situation like this by pulling in front of it.
Raja should be kicking himself in the butt for a lot of reasons, starting with how bad his reasoning and his lying is here. For starters, the way Raja has parked his car was described by former FBI Director Frank Figliuzzi as a tactical emergency position, one that is only used during aggressive maneuvers to prevent a suspect from escaping. Using this when you believe a car is unoccupied makes about as much sense as the rest of Raja's behavior. Because he not only made a U-turn and drove the wrong way on a highway off-ramp to park here, but he parked diagonally across the off-ramp, effectively blocking it to traffic in an unmarked, unlighted vehicle. Why? Because, as you're about to see, his decision-making is abysmal at best.
I didn't think there was anybody in there, and as I got close to the vehicle, and the door swung open, and this guy jumps up, and I immediately got out of the van, and he's like, I'm okay, man. And at which point I said, hey, man, police, can I help you? And the second I said police, he jumped back, and I clearly remember him drawing and pointing a gun at me. I saw that silver muzzle, and he had, I can swear on this, he had a Laser Max laser in the guide rod in the gun, and I saw that red light of that Laser Max flashing at me, and I immediately just shouted, drop the gun, and sorry.
Let's do this.
Like,
take a deep breath. Let's do this. Okay. Do you need a drink?
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Listen, I want you to take your time. I want you to be open.
Yep.
Listen, why don't we
You want to walk?
go over
Can
here?
you go over here and show us where you were when this happened?
Absolutely. And
When you got out of the van,
I-
which way did you go?
right here, I came right here.
Hold on one second.
Yep.
Come back here.
Yes, sir.
Come back
Yes,
here.
sir.
Now, when you got out of the van, which way did you go?
In front. This is just like how
Okay.
it was. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I immediately jumped out and I came right here. And at that point, I didn't have what I had on me. The only thing I had on me, because I was in plain, like my gun was still inside, my duty gun, my vest was inside, and the only thing I had was my backup gun, my department approved backup gun, in waistband holster inside with a shirt tucked in like this. And everything. And I immediately said, "Hey man, police, can I help you?" And at which point, that's when he jumped back, and I saw him draw the gun right at me. Right after I said the word police, and it was just I kind of got like caught with my pants down at that point, and it just immediately it's like positive. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know, your family flashes in front of you, your kids flash in front of you, and you're just and just immediately I drew down. I was like, drop the gun, and he didn't. He was right there, and I remember pulling the trigger I think 2 to 3 times, and he started running, and as he was running, I had my cell phone and I dialed. And I still remember putting my code in, and just like this, I had the gun, and I'm keeping an eye on this guy. And I put my code in, dialed 911, and I called dispatch right away because my radio was in the van. And the whole time, I'm like giving him commands. I'm yelling, screaming. I'm like, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. And as he's running, he gets about like right, just a little past where the guardrail starts, and he does this number, and I see his whole body spin, and I saw like a flash, a silver flash of like a metallic flash come at me. And in my head, that said, aim, aim. And I was like, aim. And I just picked that front sight right in the center mass, and I just pulled the trigger 3 times, and I saw him drop, and I saw something silver fall. And at which point I was still on the phone with dispatch, just felt like, get your radio. And I just held what I had right there. I couldn't really see where he dropped, what happened, if he moved or anything. And I'm like, I don't see him. I don't have a visual on him. And I started to walk backwards and everything, came back to the van, grabbed my radio, grabbed everything, called out on the radio.
Everything that you've just heard is a lie. Well, everything aside from the fact that Raja pulled the trigger.
And Sergeant Sprague was the first one, and I can't remember, it was one of the new Tauruses were responding, and they actually thought it happened in Doubletree. And I got on the radio, I was like, guys, I'm right here. And they quickly turned in right here. And it was Nico Arlada. And Arlada had his rifle slung up in Sprague. I'm like, guys, I lost sight of him right there.
Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
I want this is for you. I want you to take a deep breath. Okay. I'm having trouble. You're a fast talker, and you're explaining everything. I want to be able to understand and make sure everyone's good. But I want to also give you a break to try and get some oxygen in you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's just the
That's
whole
fine.
kids thing gets to me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's perfect. Did you have questions?
I do.
Yes.
Now, while you were going through this, at any time did that individual fire at you? Do you know if the gun went off?
I don't know, honestly. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was screaming, dropped, and the only thing I can think of was like I'm saying drop the gun. I announced myself as, the fuck is this guy pointing a gun at me? What the it was.
Okay.
I don't know if he fired around. I don't remember.
Okay. At any point, did you have any contact with that individual? Any kind of personal contact?
No.
When you were walking up?
No, again, he jumped up and he said, hey, I'm okay. And I said, and I came out and said, my exact words were and I made sure I was speaking loud. I was like, hey man, police, can I help you? And immediately he does a step back and kind of boom, and just draws the gun. It's basically, if you're standing right here, do you mind if I?
Absolutely. Where was?
Sure.
Okay.
You said you got out of the van here. You had indicated earlier you put your flashers on. You said something about putting your flashers on.
My game plan as I was coming from PGA was this. I thought it was a disabled vehicle, so I was going to pull in front of the van, in front of the SUV, and put my flashers on, walk out, and see what's going on, and call out the tag and call a tow truck if I needed to get the vehicle removed. I thought it was a broke down vehicle. There was nobody in it.
Okay. And is there a reason why you stopped here instead of pulling up?
Because the guy jumped out.
He jumped out
exactly
while you were in the car. He jumped out.
He jumped out, and I immediately jumped out too.
That's a long-winded way of saying, actually, I didn't turn my flashers on at all. Raja didn't turn his flashers on, didn't grab any identification, and didn't grab his vest. He did, however, have time to grab his gun. He chalks this up to the fact that Corey Jones jumped out of his vehicle as soon as Raja parked. Except, that's not true. Because, as you remember, Corey Jones was on the phone in a recorded phone call with a tow truck for the entire interaction. And the car door didn't even open until well after Raja parked and got out of his vehicle.
We're dressed exactly like this.
Exactly.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly like this. And I had my holster, which was covered.
It was covered.
It was covered, wasn't it?
When you have your gun in your waistband, is it obvious that you're carrying a gun? There's no big bulge.
I have a big stomach, so it kind of overhangs over the holster.
Were you wearing that same hat?
Exactly, just like this.
Okay. And you said you started firing. Was that around this area?
I believe I'm trying to think. It's like I remember he came out and said, "Drop." I can't
hear you.
Yeah, but hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I know when he had the gun pointed at me around the car and everything, I fired. I know that. Do
you remember exactly where he was at when he? And let me go back. You said that you got out, you jumped out, and you came around here. When did the gun come into play, and where did it come from?
See, he jumped out immediately. He said, "I'm okay, man." He said, "I'm okay, and I said, "Hey, man, police, can I help? Can I help you?" And second, I said, "I remember."
Don't touch
exactly. I'm not touching anything. No. I remember clearly seeing this. The gun was right here. I remember seeing it above the door level, and it was in this area right here, pointing at directly at me. And I remember seeing it was a silver gun. I could clearly see the hole of the muzzle, and I could see that laser max laser in the guide rod flickering. It was like flickers red on and off, on and off.
Okay. So he was in this area.
Yeah, he was in this vicinity, somewhere in this vicinity.
Do you want to? Why don't you? Do you recall where you were standing? I know you had some difficulty. Do you know approximately where?
Somewhere in this vicinity somewhere. I don't recall exactly where.
Why don't you do somewhere between where and where?
Oh, let's see. So like, if I had to say something, I would probably say about like in this region right here. This would
Well,
be
I don't
this,
want you to have to say anything. That's why I asked you
Exactly.
approximate. So
I-
if you're safe saying where your attorney is standing and somewhere between there and somewhere, you just let me know.
It's somewhere in this area
Okay.
right here.
Put this at the western boundary of any possibility of where you were standing.
Okay, I'm gonna put it about here. Let's see.
And put this at the eastern. And take your time and arrange them how you want.
Okay. So I don't know what that far. I'll probably say about here.
Okay, so somewhere between number 1 and number 2.
Yes.
Safe to say this is where you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's when you initially came into engagement?
Well, like verbal engagement or
Well,
actually
you had spoke to him. When did you specifically see the threat?
right around this area. Because as it was happening, I still remember I was in this area and I said, "Hey, man, police, how can I help you?" And I said that clearly. And when I said that, and he immediately just jumped, and I remember this action right here, the handgun on me.
Raja is having trouble remembering the locations where he fired 2 separate volleys of 3 shots, because he's trying to place them in an area that makes him look the best. Unfortunately for him, forensics will reveal things are much, much different than he's claiming. Now, Raja has been an officer for almost 8 years at the point of this footage. In fact, he's an instructor at the police academy and a firearms expert, yet he claims to have seen a laser on the gun. The gun in question, one of the cheapest handguns that money can buy, had nothing of the sort. In fact, Corey had bought it just 3 days before he was fatally shot for protection at home and on the way to and from his gigs.
And then he started running in this direction right here, just as you could.
Which side of the guardrail?
On the western side of the guardrail.
So he's on the grass?
On the grass, yes.
Okay.
He started running on the grass, and if I'm thinking, and this is where I grabbed my phone and I started running after him with my gun still pointing in his direction, screaming, and I was on 911. I was yelling. I was like, "Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!" And I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
What was he doing at that point?
He was running, and right when he got about, I think it was, because this is where I started to walk. I remember I was around that area by that pole when I decided to walk back to get my radio again. Because this guy was like, "Go get your radio, Raj. Go get your radio." And
just be careful right here.
I'm sorry. And I remember over here is where I was, and he must have been. Do you see this plant right here? This big bush?
Clump?
Yeah, the big clump. Just where the ditch is right there in front of it, kind of like he was in that area, and that's when he did the spin. And I was yelling, I was like, "Drop the gun, drop the gun!" And I saw him go like this, and I remember saying to myself, "Aim!" I still remember, and I was like, "Aim!" And I put that front sight right in the center mass, and I squeezed. I believe 2 rounds.
Okay.
And I saw him drop, at which point, and when he dropped and everything, and I started going up, and I couldn't see him. And I was like, I lost sight of him. And they're like, "Go get your radio, go get your radio." And I started to go, and I was like, just pedaling back and everything. And the guys came, and I was like, "Look, I lost sight of him right there. I don't know where he went to." And I think one of the officers was up north. He's like, "I think I see something up there," and this and that. So, and then Sergeant Sprague or Sergeant Anderson, one of the sergeants, was like, "Raj, come show me exactly where's the last point you saw him." So I started walking up the guardrail. As I started walking up, we saw him right there.
Okay. What happened after that?
once we saw him and everything, he was laying face down and both his hands were tucked underneath him. So Sergeant Anderson came to my left. He brought a shield. He was shield guy. I was shield covered behind him. And Sergeant Sprague came to the north side of us from almost at the tree, and he had a rifle out. And we said, okay, we need to approach it to make sure that, he's still not armed, what's going on and everything. So we slowly approached him and everything like that. But before that, when they came, I ran to my van. I immediately put on my vest, and I immediately clipped on my thigh holster, my duty gun. So once we started to approach him and everything like that, he still wasn't moving. I think we gave him a couple of verbal commands, didn't respond. And Sergeant Sprague said, Raj, go ahead, go hands on with him. I holstered immediately, and they said they've got cover. I grabbed one arm, pulled it out, grabbed the other arm, pulled it out, and we said, and Sergeant Anderson or Sprague said, flip him, make sure he's not laying on top of the gun. And we just pulled him back, flipped him back, saw there was no gun visible and everything. And Sergeant Sprague said, okay, call fire rescue, all right, let's clear. And I came back here, and there was a rescue truck here, and I was covered in his blood, and I was like, can you just get this off me? And they took like hydrogen peroxide and just started pouring it all over me, started washing me.
All over you?
Yeah. On my hands and arms.
Corey wasn't laying on the gun because he had dropped the gun well before Raja fired an additional 3 shots into him. How far before? 150 feet, which is half a football field if you're American, and a little less than half a football field if you're, well, anything else. Raja claims that he called 911 before he fired the second volley of shots, yet Corey's call proves that's not true. In fact, he only waited 10 seconds between firing the 2 sets, while the AAA agent helplessly listened on the other end of Corey's phone. Then, 33 seconds after firing his last bullet, Raja called 911, pretending that he was still concerned about Corey having a gun.
Down right now!
911.
Hey, this is Gardens Alpha 1. I just got one down. I just shot one person. I'm at that off-ramp right behind Doubletree. Black male.
You're behind the Doubletree?
I'm on the off-ramp, 95 southbound off-ramp, off the Doubletree. I am not covered in anything right now. And, give me some units. I got one down. I got one man down. Have fire rescue stand by.
Roger, you all right?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Drop the gun!
On the off-ramp, right?
On the off-ramp. Get me some units. I've lost contact with him. I don't know where he is.
All right, you got it, buddy. Where's your radio? Where's your radio, Raj?
My radio's in the van right now. I don't have it with me. That's why I'm on the phone.
All right, stay on the phone, buddy. What's the guy look like?
Black male wearing all black dress, had a silver handgun in his right hand.
At the point of Raja making this call, Corey had been shot 3 times. He was unmoving on the ground. His gun was half a sports field of your choosing away. Raja, a trained officer, knew that Corey wasn't holding a weapon. But he also knew that he messed up big time, and he had to try and make it look like he was acting in self-defense, even if he was defending himself against a dead man in the footage you've just heard.
Can I clarify a couple things?
Go ahead.
The shirt you have on.
Yes, sir.
Is that the shirt you had on?
Exactly just like this.
It's on inside out.
Inside out, because it's a shirt with the American flag on it.
Okay.
And the night before, I had a green shirt like this with an American flag, and all the officers drove by. Like, that gives you away as a cop. You got a flag on your shoulder. I was like, all right, I got to flip it inside out. Okay. So I flipped it.
Let's talk about conditions. Right now, I can see you. There's no street lights on. The sun has risen. You can see. Tell me about the conditions at 3:15.
Up front, when I was right there with him, I could see him crystal clear. But when he started to run away from me, all I could see was a silhouette, and I could see his face. I could see this, and I could see his body movements and stuff. He was wearing a black shirt, but you could he wasn't really that dark black skin. He was just maybe a couple of shades darker than me. So you could make out this is where his shirt stopped, this is where his arm stopped, and I could see him turn. And I could have sworn I saw that silver thing. When he turned, I saw some silver in his hand turn, and that's when I was like, aim, and squeezed off a few rounds. And the whole time I'm on the phone with dispatch.
You said he pulled the gun at you
over there,
right outside of
right
the door,
up, yeah,
or in
that vicinity, yeah,
or whatever? Yeah. And you described it as what?
I saw a silver muzzle. I could clearly see the bore size hole, and underneath it, where the guide rod goes with the handguns and everything like that, he had a laser max laser which blinks. And I'm speaking this from experience because I'm a firearms instructor, and I teach civilian, I teach at the police academy and everything, and I can clearly identify a firearm when I see one, specifically when it's pointed in my direction.
And you indicated, you testified that you were pretty quick on the draw.
Yes.
You said you drew it out quick. Are you pretty quick with?
I practice like I practice all the time.
And he pointed his gun at you at there?
At there. Second, he pointed, when I said, hey man, police, can I help you? And that's when he jumped back, pointed the gun at me and everything.
Okay. Why didn't you shoot him there?
I thought I shot him there. I thought I pulled the trigger. I thought I shot him. I thought I shot at him.
When you first pulled out your gun?
Yeah. When I first pulled out the gun, I gave him like, drop the gun, drop the gun. And when he didn't, I believe I shot him there.
Okay. Okay. How many rounds do you think you fired in total?
5.
Okay.
Maybe 6 or 5.
What kind of gun is it? What kind
of
weapon?
It's a Glock 27 40 caliber.
The mini Glock?
The mini Glock, yeah, the baby Glocks, yeah.
Did you, when he pointed the gun at you and you pulled your gun and you thought you fired, could you at any point, either there or down there, see if muzzle flash, you're familiar with muzzle flash?
Yes, absolutely.
Firearms instructor?
Yes,
Did you ever see that come out of his gun?
I didn't even see my own muzzle.
Raja didn't see Corey's muzzle flash because, as you've likely realized, Corey never fired.
All I remember was just the motion of pulling that trigger. I didn't even know if I couldn't even hear my own bang. I think I was just so like, drop the gun, drop the gun. I don't think I even heard my own gun go off.
Okay. Would you describe your demeanor, I shouldn't say demeanor, I'm lacking a term here. As police officers, we often patrol with a kind of a heightened sense of alertness.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
I was.
Do you think that your level? How would you describe your level of alertness when you first saw this car, and then before he pulled the firearm out?
First of all, I didn't even know he was inside the car, right. and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm kicking myself. You know, hindsight's 20/20, and I preach this at the academy. Always, you know, when you see an abandoned vehicle, when you see something like that, always treat it like there's somebody inside because you never know. And I go do the cynical sin, like if I knew there was a guy inside, I wouldn't do something stupid like this by pulling in front of the car like that. Because I drove by, there's nobody, and I made the U-turn, and I'm watching, there's nobody inside the car. I'm like, oh man, they probably ran out of gas, walked the corner gas station or something like that. So let me just pull in front of it. I'll put my flashers on and everything. Hey, call out the tag, call out the, like it's a broke down vehicle and everything, see if it needs to be towed or what.
So the only reason you got out there
was because he jumped out.
Yeah.
Okay. He caught me off guard, and this again, like I preached that stuff, and I went ahead.
Officer Raja, at one point you said that when he got out, you said, "Hey man, police,
yes,
can I help you?" At what point did he say what he said something? Correct?
He said right off the second he got out the car, I jumped out immediately. He said, "I'm good, man, I'm good."
Even before or after you said police?
Even before. That was the first words. He said, "Hey man, I'm good, I'm good." And I responded with, "Hey man, police, can I help you?"
Did he say anything after that?
No. That was like the click. It was like, wait a minute. A normal person would be like, if a normal human being was broken down and I identified myself as a police officer, like wanting to help them, they'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm waiting for someone to come bring the gas, or I called a tow truck already, or whatever the case might be. And he immediately just jumped back and gun come at me. And at that point, it's like, he knows I'm a cop. I identified myself. This guy's trying to kill me. And I didn't want to die.
Did you have anything out that would identify yourself physically as a police officer?
I didn't even get a chance to even grab my wallet out, because the funny thing is, earlier in the night, I was in the aisles when I was doing my patrol in aisles. As you enter the aisles, you make the first right, and there was a gentleman walking his dog, and he immediately saw me, and because I was blacked out in a van driving around, and I immediately grabbed my wallet, and I went like this. I was like, "Sorry, I'm a police officer. It's okay. We're here doing surveillance and everything." So I knew to identify myself right off the bat, but it happened so quick. He drew that gun so quick on me.
Okay.
You have the holster for your gun with you?
Yeah, no, they have it.
What is the attachment you have on your belt there?
This is for my leg holster.
Okay.
Did
you have that tactical belt on at the time?
Yes, this is the same exact belt I had on. Okay. This right here, I had it in the waistband holster. And the whole thing with the drop leg holster was, if I do need to go out, something like that, put the vest on, put the holster on, and then go.
Okay. Let's talk about two other things.
Yes, sir.
When you said you swore you shot up there when he first pulled the gun at you, did you see if it had an impact on him?
I couldn't tell.
Did you notice?
Were you watching him at the time?
My aim was I was watching that gun.
Did he fall down?
No.
Did he stumble? Did he say ouch or shot me or anything?
Did he say anything at that point?
Nothing. Nothing was said. Nothing was, and he was just pointing the gun right.
Okay. No body reaction to indicate something may have occurred?
No, nothing. Just flight. Okay.
Corey obviously had every reason to run, and for flight to be his response to being shot at 6 times at 3 in the morning while his car was broken down. The only reason that Corey was even still with his vehicle was because he was afraid that his drums were going to be stolen out of it. So he decided he would wait for the tow truck, despite one of his friends offering him a ride home after he tried to help Corey get his vehicle running. Corey was already wary. Had Raja actually announced himself as a police officer, things likely would have gone extremely differently, especially when you consider the fact that Corey didn't have a single infraction on his record, and we mean not a single one, not even a traffic or parking ticket.
Which hand was he holding the gun in?
Right.
Okay.
And again, do you remember where it came from?
He was like my view was blocked by that door a lot, so I couldn't tell if he had it in his waist, if he had it in the door, if he had it on his seat. I don't know.
Okay.
I remember seeing that thing coming right at me.
When he ran, was he full sprint back?
I saw him running.
Running fast?
Not fast. It wasn't fast because I still had, like, if he was I guess he was, you could say if he was in a full sprint trying to run away, he would probably made it a lot further.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna ask you to do one thing after
yes, sir.
I ask you one more question. The blood, you said you got blood all over.
Yes.
How'd you do that?
When we went, once we found his body and everything, and it was only me, Sergeant Sprague, and Sergeant Anderson, and when we saw his body, we flashed the light on him. We were up here at this guardrail, right kind of like where this emergency truck is sitting at. And we looked down, and we're like, oh, there he is. His hands were tucked underneath him.
Right.
We couldn't even see his hands. So one of the sergeants said, we need to go make sure that he's that he's not alive still. He's not holding on to the weapon and everything like that. And Sergeant Anderson had the shield out. I was behind him in shield cover like this. And Sergeant Sprague was on further from me with a rifle out. And we slowly approached the body. I think we gave some royal guys, show me your hands, show me your hands. And nothing happened, didn't move, didn't even flinch. And Sergeant Sprague said, Raj, we got cover, holster up. We got to pull his hands out. And so holstered, pulled his hand out, pulled the other hand out. And then I'm not sure if it was Sergeant Sprague or Sergeant Anderson. They said, let's flip him just to make sure that he's not laying on top of the gun. So I grabbed his arm and I flipped him. There was no gun, nothing. Seeing Sergeant Sprague, like, okay, he's clear. Let's call fire rescue up. And I walked about like, I'm going to go wash myself. I'm covered in blood.
And where did you do that at?
There was a fire truck and an ambulance right behind it with the rescue. And I walked back there. I was like, I need to wash this off me. And the firefighter, she grabbed a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, popped it, and just started dumping it all over me. And I was just washing myself.
Okay.
Now to go back when the gentleman was rolled over, did anybody check him to see if he had any kind of weapons?
No.
Did you see anything in the ground around him?
We just kind of like did this and everything. And Sergeant Anderson like, we need to get out of this. Shouldn't contaminate this crime scene anymore.
And didn't see anything
immediate area, no.
Okay.
Was that truck here when this happened?
No, this truck was like way towards the end. They just needed more lights, so they called it in.
Just making sure. And did you have anything to do with recovering any piece of evidence around here?
No.
Whether it be shell casings or guns or anything like that?
Second that happened, second I washed my hands, Sergeant Anderson was like, Raj, you need to be with me. And he took me, do you see where those officers, where those guys are standing right there by that car?
Yes.
Right there, and I was there for the rest of until our command bus.
Never entered the crime scene again until you did this right now?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Did you get into a car or were you still outside?
No, I was outside the car the whole time till our command bus came and I got into our command bus. And then your command bus came and I switched over to yours.
Okay.
What's the first thing he did when you yelled police at him?
Second, I said, hey man, police. He immediately just stepped back and I remember clearly seeing that gun over that door pointing right at us. The night before, I went home and my wife saw me in plain clothes. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I was doing surveillance last night. And the first words out of her mouth was, where's your vest? I was like, honey, it's inside the van. It's next to me. If I need it, I can throw it on and everything. And all I could think was, kids, man.
Do you have anything else?
Raja is bringing on the tears, and this isn't his first time being in trouble with the department. He may not have been planning or seeking someone out to harm this night, but his disciplinary history shows that at the bare minimum, he had a disregard for rules that carried into this fatal incident. From 2008 to 2015, he was written up multiple times for mishandling evidence. In 2009, a complaint was actually filed against him for going to a friend's house in regards to a domestic incident while he was off-duty and plainclothed. Just another example of Raja thinking he can get away with his behavior of not doing things by the book.
Now, when he got out of the car, how did he get out of that car? Did it look like he had just opened up the door and stepped out?
I saw him
what
pop
was that?
out fast, I couldn't tell if he stepped his left foot, right foot, because my van's pretty high, van, it was blocked. I just saw him pop out like right there, like, oh, and it just caught me off guard. I was like,
okay.
That red laser, you said that, did it flash or was it
it was
steady light?
flickering.
It was flickering? Now,
Yes, sir.
You said you know about guns.
Yes, sir. Laser Max is the only company that makes a laser that goes in the guide rod of the gun, and they're not a steady laser. They're designed to flicker like that to give you like, hey, this is where I'm at.
And did you see? Were you there when if there was a gun recovered? Were you there? Did you see it afterwards?
I haven't seen the gun. I haven't seen anything. Again, after we got the body and everything, after I washed my hands, they immediately took me over there, and I've been there the whole time.
Now, you said you saw the laser. Did you see the end point of that laser at any point?
Where was? No,
yeah.
No idea.
Okay. 2 more things.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when you discharged your weapon? You said you believed it was down there. Did you discharge it anywhere?
Yes, I discharged it, and this is what I'm saying. It's like when he was running, and I was going after, I was yelling, I was like, drop the gun, drop the gun, and I'm yelling at this guy. Drop the gun at the top of my lungs, and I see him do one of these numbers come back, and all I remember saying to myself in my head was like, aim, and I even yelled, I was like, aim, and I put that front sight right into the black silhouette, and I squeezed again.
Do me a favor, as best you can, the same thing, approximate where you were. Again, I know it's just
aim was not something that Raja yelled. In fact, in total, he only said 20 words before he fired, and those words weren't the words you would expect from a public servant. Rather than identifying himself as a police officer, Raja antagonized Corey. It may be hard to make out, but in the clip you're about to hear, he asks, "You good?" When Corey responds that he is, Raja twice says, "Really?" in an almost sarcastic tone.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, and do you have this in the area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, which one is this? Because you had testified earlier that you shot twice.
Yes.
This is second.
This is the second.
Or the first.
The second series.
Okay.
First series, second series.
Very good.
I'm trying to remember something. Somewhere. Oh, again, sorry.
Oops. Yeah, you went.
Probably have to say somewhere around. Come up to about almost here at that point.
Yeah,
it was somewhere in this, because I remember I didn't hug the guardrail. I remember I was coming wide. and I remember yelling aim.
So it was in this general area.
General area.
Okay.
At which point was he pointing the gun at you? Running backwards and it turned.
He was running. He was running from me, and he did one of these numbers.
Where?
Where was he at that point?
Yeah. Can we?
Yeah, absolutely. Go.
I would probably say somewhere.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
In this general vicinity. You want me to?
I don't want you getting wet.
I'm already.
Deep. Listen, don't go if it's a canal.
I'll toss him.
Okay.
You want me to toss him?
Yeah.
All right.
Again, it's just approximate.
This is approximate. Right. I would say probably from about here to about this area.
Okay. Right. So right in that area.
Right.
That's where he was when he.
That's when he was. He turned around and he just went like this, and I was like, and I remember yelling, "Aim!" and just.
when he spun, you saw the barrel again.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw him. I saw this. No, but I saw. The biggest thing is this. Here's the thing. Again, from like training and experience and being around firearms and teaching firearms and everything like that. Here's the thing. If somebody's running, if they're looking back, versus when they see a whole body spin and you see that fist come up like this, he's trying to kill me.
Did you see one at that point?
Yes, okay. I saw something and then he dropped, and that's when I said I saw something silver fall.
Okay.
The last thing I'm going to have you to do, it sounds silly. Let's go back to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
I'm going to keep up.
Trying.
The last thing I'm going to have you do is, as best you can, physically and verbally, reenact the moment without getting in your van. You can start at the driver's door. Okay. Reenact everything you did. Simulate drawing your gun because I'll have it. As best you can, reenact it as if it was just happening now.
Okay. Without getting my vehicle.
And when I say reenact it, I want the volume of your voice to be the same. I want your
do it 100%.
Your speed in your walk or your run to be the same, and progress all the way through.
All the way through. Okay.
Yep.
Prepare yourself for the strangest and most inaccurate recreation of events of all time.
I completely go around like, and he says, "Hey man," he jumps out. He's like, "Hey man, I'm okay." I'm like, "Hey man, cops. Hey man, police, can I help you?" And he immediately, "Hey man, police, can I help you?" And he draws the gun on me and says, "Drop the gun, drop the gun!" And bang, 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 and he starts running, and I start chasing him. And I'm calling 911. "Hey, this is Garden's Alpha. This is Roger. I just shot a guy. The guy had a gun," and I'm describing the guy. And as he's going right there, he stops and he turns around, looks at me, and I'm like, "Aim!" And I bang, 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 and I fire about 2 or maybe 3 rounds over here, and I see him drop, and I come up a little bit more, and I'm still on the phone. I slow down, and then I couldn't see him anymore. And I was like, I've lost sight of him. I don't know where he is. And they're like, go back at your radio. And I just started walking backwards, ran back, and got my radio.
Let's pause there and just listen to the audio all the way through to see if a single thing matches his statements.
Is there any buildings, landmarks, anything like that that I could use to pinpoint your address?
Huh? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's gunshots.
Nope, it sure doesn't. But that doesn't matter to Raja at the time of this recreation, because he has absolutely no idea that the entire thing was recorded.
The length of time that you just did that, roughly the same?
3 to 4 seconds, if that. Okay. Maybe 5.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take you over to Sergeant
Moleskar.
Yes, sir.
I'm mixing up the names. Where he put your gun in the trunk.
Yes,
the only reason I'm going to have you go over there is to identify that.
That is okay. We'll do.
And then we're going to take it as evidence.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
That'll conclude everything. Any other time during this whole incident did you say police?
I don't know what to tell you.
What's that?
I don't know. I remember screaming, "Drop the gun! Drop the gun!" I remember screaming that. I'm sure I probably said, "Police, drop the gun." It's just,
you don't remember?
I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm happy about it.
Good. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay.
Numan Raja's case was highly contested and a huge staple in the news cycle for several years. In 2016, he was arrested on charges of murder and attempted murder. One charge for the volley of shots that were fatal, and another for the volley of shots that were not. In court in 2019, he didn't testify, which was within his right, but certainly didn't help his case. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison for manslaughter and attempted first-degree murder.